Last week I did a rant. Let me preface this. Last week I went on like a rant about these token extensions, and I didn't look into the details of them. I watched the video once and I talked about it on the stream, and I was like, Solana is so smart. They're making a play at real world business. Who will benefit from leveraging blockchain? They're making a play for stablecoin issuers. They're making a play for institutions. So smart. Why aren't all the other ecosystems, especially the ones whose tokens I hold, doing this? And I was frustrated about how, you know, DeFi is still like in its toddler stage. So it's like everything's so fragmented. There's no unity, and like there's no one really pushing it at the speed of light. Solana's pushing at the speed of light. So let's watch this. Anyway, long story short, basically saying that token extensions are designed for developers, businesses, institutions. That's what they say. It gives optionality to these users that want to use Solana as a platform, right? Not everything belongs on blockchain, right? I mean, most people will agree to that. Not everything belongs on blockchain, but Solana is coming, starting off 2024 with these token extensions. And you could have permission tokens, like it says here, build stable coins, simplify payments, all of this. And there are 12 different token extensions. You could think of them, token standards is what I would call them. That's what I would call them. Token standards. So let me sum this video up for you. You couldn't hear that, but it was just introduction, and they have 12 different extensions that they roll out. Think about that. So I mentioned that it gives options to businesses that will use Solana in some capacity, right? 12 different extensions, and these are at the token level. They're compatible with the wallets, the apps already. They're already compatible, backwards compatible, as far as I know. No patching needed. Um, I could come in, build something, and I can pick and choose which of these token extensions I want to enable for the token that I issue. If I'm a DAO, maybe I like these 3 token extensions. If I'm a stablecoin issuer, maybe I like these 5 token extensions, and they could be used in combination like that. The video here, which I'll link below, like all the links are down below. They focus on 5 of them, and one of them is called transfer hooks. And basically, when regulations and compliance are a necessity, it gives the issuer the ability to determine if a specific token transfer is allowed in the first place, right? So obviously, some businesses will not use blockchain if it's completely permissionless, Wild West, everyone's anonymous. There's going to be some KYC, AML. This doesn't mean that the whole blockchain is going to be permissioned, but for a token can be permissioned. And you will not be allowed to transfer that token unless you register in some way with the issuer, whether it's an app, an institution, whatever. If I'm going to issue a stablecoin, this is attractive to me, right? So those are transfer hooks. Then they have an extension for confidential transfers. We talked about privacy on a Twitter space, and we'll talk about it a little bit later with Shade Protocol. I did a space with NIM. We have Namada and Cosmos, these different blockchains that are privacy focused. But Solana has this token extension, so you could issue a token with this optionality of having confidential transfers. So in other words, all the info for the transaction is public, but specific details can be private, right? Compliance features, they might be required by business. They use ZK proofs to hide certain details, but auditors would have keys to be able to access everything. Where is this useful? Payroll, right? Payroll. So I always thought that blockchains would be great for payroll. accounting, right? Blockchains are pretty much like it's pretty much a tool for accounting. So those are confidential transfers. The third one they talk about permanent delegate. So the issuer is given authority, um, like let's say revocation of a token, right? If you need certain credentials, uh, they could be securities tokens. Again, these are all attractive if I'm going to, in a country like the United States, deploy something on a blockchain that might need to be registered with the SEC to make it legitimate, right? But this permanent delegate extension allows tokens to be issued or destroyed at any time. At any time. And again, some of these features probably sound horrific to the, you know, um, kind of like libertarian minded, like OG crypto people are like, oh my God, Satoshi would kill himself if he saw this. This is not for the whole blockchain. These are individual options that you can choose if you are a token issuer. All right. So that was permanent delegate, and then something called non-transferable tokens. These can be destroyed by users. It ensures that one specific wallet can receive a transaction or has access to a token. NFTs, governance tokens, right? What if you want to issue a token and you don't want people trading it in a liquidity pool? You want it to be strictly used for governance. Or maybe you're an artist and you auction off some art. You don't want it to be transferred for whatever reason, right? You could choose to enable this extension. And then there's an extension that deals with like customizable metadata, right? For new asset classes, games, things like that. But I said that blockchain is pretty much ideal for things like accounting and all that data, right? This is just going down the token extensions section of the Solana website. Simple functionality has been achieved on every blockchain. I could take tokens, I could buy them over here, I could custody them, and then I could send them over here to my friend. Like that's pretty much as far as payments have gotten on most blockchains. But these token extensions provide the promise that we'll have way more complex use cases like bank to bank settlement, right? Any regulated businesses now will be able to choose between different token extensions so that they're in compliance with their local jurisdictions. This is probably going to be attractive for lots of businesses that have been waiting for clarity, right? Waiting for the ideal situation, the ideal chain to deploy something on, or at least to do research on it, right? Um, some examples they talk about in that video, which I'll link down below, is you could do accounts payable, accounts receivable, right? You can match payments to an invoice. I don't know if you've ever worked at a job, but there's someone doing that by hand a lot of the time. Now it's on blockchain, right? It could be automated through a series of apps. Something else they mentioned that was interesting, tokenized invoices that could be used as collateral and generate yield. Like someone owes you money, you could use that as collateral, right? These extensions provide for that. They provide for that possibility. They provide for that possibility. So, like I said last week, I went on like a little bit of a rant because I was just disappointed that it took this long for chains to realize, like, hey, we can't just ignore regulations. We can't just allow this to be the Wild West forever. Solana's rolling out. I mean, these are products. These token extensions are products. Some people will only come to the chains that have these types of products. Stablecoin issuers, um, tokenizing real world assets, being able to, you know, control the issuance and maybe KYC people if they're in certain jurisdictions and all that in order to kind of maximize utility there. Just kind of maximize utility. Curious what you guys think about it. Very curious what you guys think about it. I'm sure there's a lot of negatives that will come out of this just because it's everything is KYC, being able to prevent transfers from going through, being able to, or forcing KYC to interact with certain tokens. But if you don't want those tokens, you don't want a KYC, you just don't interact with them. You could still use the Solana chain for whatever you want to use it for. So